So last week, the tech world basically got a collective heart attack. Anthropic dropped a bombshell, announcing they had created an AI model so powerful, so advanced, that it was actually too dangerous to release to the public.
And the reaction was, well, immediate. The media went into a frenzy. Headlines like this one from Mashable. They were everywhere. You could almost feel the panic rippling out from Silicon Valley into the financial world.
But here's the thing. Is this a genuine end of the world as we know it kind of threat? Or is there something else going on here? Today, we're going to peel back the layers of marketing hype and try to figure out what's really happening with Claude Mythos.
All right, so first things first. What did Anthropic actually say that sent these massive shockwaves through the entire industry? Let's break down their announcement.
The claims were just explosive. They said their new model, Claude Mythos, could autonomously find and exploit security holes that nobody even knew existed. These are the so-called zero-day vulnerabilities, and not in some obscure piece of software, but in basically every critical system you and I use every single day.
And look, this wasn't just online chatter or some Twitter drama. This got real fast. The U.S. Federal Reserve and the Treasury Secretary actually called an emergency meeting with banking CEOs to talk about this cybernetic risk. I mean, we're talking about the highest levels of government taking this incredibly seriously. But once the smoke started to clear and that initial shock wore off, the real experts started digging into the technical details. And what they found? Well, let's just say the reality is a little less Hollywood blockbuster and a lot more nuanced.
So, before we go any further, let's just quickly get on the same page. A zero-day is a huge deal. Think of it like a secret backdoor to a building that even the builders don't know exist. If you find it, you can use it to get in before anyone even has a chance to change the locks. It's a massive tool for any hacker. And Anthropic was basically saying Mythos was a master key maker. But when the cybersecurity pros actually sat down to read the, get this, 244-page technical paper, the story started to change. That epic 27-year-old bug it supposedly found, it was a denial of service flaw. Now, that can crash the system, sure, but it doesn't let an attacker actually take control like a remote code execution bug would. And the big Firefox hack? Yeah, they kind of ran that test with a key security feature, the sandbox, completely turned off. You know, it's not really that impressive to say you broke into a house if you first found out the door was left wide open. Disabling the very security features you're supposed to be testing, well, it's a choice.
But here's the real kicker. This might be the most telling part of the whole story. Researchers decided to test other AI models on the same problems, including cheaper, smaller, and even open-source ones. And the result? They found the vulnerabilities too. The supposedly uniquely dangerous capability of Mythos, well, it wasn't so unique after all.
So, if the technology isn't some world-ending leap forward, what is actually going on here? Well, all the signs point to a brilliant, perfectly executed marketing strategy.
I mean, this is a classic playbook. You create this powerful story around a dangerous new technology, which generates massive hype and a sense of real urgency. Then you restrict access, for safety, which only makes it seem more powerful and mysterious. And then finally, you sell access to the solution to your high-paying enterprise clients.
And the timing is, shall we say, very convenient. This huge announcement, which was preceded by a series of very helpful leaks, comes just as Anthropic is getting ready for a massive IPO, with a valuation in the hundreds of billions. Creating a narrative that you are the sole gatekeeper of a world-altering technology is a pretty fantastic way to justify that price tag. And if this all feels a little familiar, it should. Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei is a veteran of OpenAI, which pulled a very similar move with GPT-2, claiming it was too dangerous to release, before eventually, releasing it. It seems he learned the marketing techniques very, very well.
And here it is, the solution. Project Glasswing. It's an exclusive club where major corporations pay for access to Mythos to secure their own systems. See, Anthropic didn't just announce a problem. They came prepared with a proprietary, high-margin product to solve it.
So, does this all mean there's no real threat? Not quite. The reality is more complex than just saying it's all a stunt. We need to be able to separate the marketing exaggerations from the genuine risks that are out there.
The marketing wants you to imagine a teenager in a hoodie taking down the power grid. That's pure fiction. But the genuine risks are still serious. AI tools are absolutely accelerating the speed at which threats can be found and weaponized, and that puts immense pressure on cybersecurity defenders to keep up.
As cybersecurity CEO Tal Cullender put it, this is brilliant corporate theater. The real disruption isn't that Mythos can do something humans can't.
The danger is that it automates the process of finding vulnerabilities at a scale and speed that we have just never, ever seen before.
And this really brings us to the real danger, which might not be the AI itself, but the business model that's popping up around it. It's a model where companies can create, or at least dramatically amplify a threat, only to turn around and sell the exclusive cure.
And this leaves us with a fundamental question. We've always asked if AI is dangerous, but perhaps the more important question now is, what happens when fear, packaged up and sold with a subscription plan, becomes the most valuable product of all?